much for joining us today. We appreciate you coming so far. Some of you from across the river, over the hill, over the river and through the hills.
Over the hills and woods.
Thank you. It's been a long time for me singing that song. Some of you as far as Beloit. Some of you as far as Germantown. And some of you as far as Madison, Wisconsin, and various parts of Wisconsin. We appreciate you taking time out today to be with us. Some of you have been with us for 3 and 4 days straight, and we appreciate you all. Some of you have been running here and there and in between Pat McFarland and the Witch Hat to deliver flyers, to be trusted messengers, to advocate on behalf of our youth and families. Some of you who remain nameless have reached out to thought leaders, legislators, technical people, and family and friends, just to share the message that we have to get out and vote if we want to change the situation. We always say, there has never been a more important election than now. That's because every election is important if you want to change your community. So on today, we have an opportunity to do it again. And because of the leadership of Linda Carr Carlson, our beloved NAACP Youth Advisor, who just retired officially last December, but really in March, and handed me the baton. We're here today on behalf of the NAACP Youth Council. I'd like to introduce you to some of our local NAACP Youth Council members and our future UWM president, and allow them to tell you a little bit about what's going to happen today. And we again thank you for coming and enjoying this program. This is one of our first community programs that we have done together. And again, we appreciate you, and we apologize for the delay. But again, thank you.
Hello, and welcome to Your Voice, Your Vote, a community and theater event highlighting the importance of voting through the life and legacy of Sojourner Truth, told through song, dance, and spoken word. Throughout our program, we will hear from 6 different community leaders who will answer the age-old question: when it comes to voting, why does it matter? And what is at stake for our families? So we thank you for coming and hope you enjoy. Now please give a warm welcome to Sierra Lee, President of the Black Student Union at UW-Madison. I'm Taylor Thompson, President of the Milwaukee Youth Council, NAACP Youth Council.
Hello, my name is Sierra Lee. I am the president of the Black Student Union at University of Wisconsin of Milwaukee. I put together programs and events for students so they may familiarize themselves with people of the same background as them. I'm excited to be here on behalf of UW-MBSU, and I hope that you all have a blessed day. May we all be able to connect and work together to better our community. Thank you.
Now, it is my pleasure to welcome our first speaker, Dr. Bertie Kauser, Vice President of Housing and Development at the Center for Veterans Issues.
Thank you so much, young people. You're doing such a great job. Hi, everyone. Wow, this is an honor and a privilege to be here today, and I am just so overjoyed and elated to be one of your community speakers for today. So as the young lady stated, my name is Dr. Kauser. I am the Vice President of Housing and Development for the Center for Veterans Issues, and our organization is an organization that serves veterans, particularly homeless veterans. And so what we typically do is if you are homeless and you're a veteran, we bring you into our program. We work with you. We work with you to get employment. We work with you to increase your income, and most importantly, to get housing. So that's very important for us. So in a given year, we are able to house over 1,500 veterans in any one given year. So I think that's really good, right? So for the people that have served our country and have gone and fought the wars for us, I mean, I think that is an admirable thing, right? So that we have the freedom that we have today, which leads to my next statement about voting. Voting is so important. It means that we have a voice to share and that our voice is being heard. And then again, without those civil liberties, we wouldn't be able to vote. So we want to make sure that we thank our veterans for their service to our country and make sure that we thank them for our opportunity to vote, all right? And lastly, also want to just share with you, I'm also a veteran. I was a veteran for 16 years, and I have my sister here with me as well, and she's going to talk about the mortgage industry, but she's a veteran. She's my role model. She is the reason why I went to the Army, so I'm super excited that she's here joining me and speaking today alongside me. But also, within the Center for Veterans Issues, we have an organization called the National Association for Black Veterans. And I happen to be the chapter commander of the All Women's Veterans Chapter. So if you know any women out there that are veterans, it's a service organization. We do service in the community. Please send them my way. I'll be back there at that table back there with the white tablecloth. I have some cards. And if you have an opportunity, please go on our website and look us up. We always are looking for volunteers. We actually are hiring right now too, right? It's an amazing organization. We just got done naming from 27th to 35th in Wisconsin after Brigadier Robert A. Colcroft, who was our immediate past president. Yes. So we are super excited, and it was started as a minority organization, so we really have something to be proud of, right? Our heritage, this is what we did for us, by us. We don't discriminate, but it's for us and it's by us, and all are welcome. So thank you again today, and I'm super happy to be here. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Braden, and I would like to welcome Terrell Martin.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I'm glad to be here today, and I thank you for inviting me. My name is Terrell Martin. I'm on the City of Milwaukee's Election Commission, which I serve as the chair. And I'm just here to let you know that early voting will start on Tuesday. I have a list of all the early voting polling locations that you could pick up here at the table. I'll give it to you to let you know to vote. Also, we still need poll workers. If you would like to be a poll worker, I have a card here. You could just scan it and you could become a worker. One thing I want to let everybody know, that our elections this year and every year is going to be safe and secure. You can let your family, friends, and neighbors know that they can go to the polls and they have no fear whatsoever to cast in their vote. And don't let anyone tell them that they can't vote. One thing I want to let everyone know, there's talk, you're going to hear the talking heads on TV telling you that Milwaukee is going to be late coming in because we're trying to steal the election or this and that. It is totally not true. On election day, on November the 8th, those that votes at the polls, at the closing of the polls, those votes are automatically transferred to the count. What's gonna come in late and be patient with us because it all depends on the early vote. Early votes cannot, according to state law, cannot be counted until 7 a.m. the day of the election, which is November the 8th. And it all depends on how many people vote. It's gonna take time because 2 people have to go through each individual envelope and put them to the side before they even go into the machine to be counted. And I already heard that Milwaukee's gonna be late. They're gonna be late like they was in 18. They're gonna wait to the last minute and steal those votes and turn it to something. Not true. Be credible messengers to your neighbors and friends and let them know that the city of Milwaukee elections is safe and secure and fair and free elections, and we're gonna have it on November the 8th. And thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Thomas. I am greatly appreciated to introduce Aisha Carr, School Board District.
Good afternoon, everyone. It is an honor, a pleasure to be here today. I do want to thank you all for being leaders and leading this charge, and I want to encourage you all to continue the work even beyond the elections. My name is Aisha Carr. I am District 4 representative for Milwaukee Public Schools. I am here, one, I love engaging with constituents. I love to keep my hands on the pulse of what's happening in the community, but we're at a critical point in history, and there is so much at stake. One of the things that is very important that really requires people to show up and show out this election cycle is the fact that Republicans are trying to break up MPS and dismantle and interfere with our public educational system. And whenever I hear anything where individuals are trying to dismantle or change or interfere with the educational dynamics or constructs, I always take that as an attack on children. And in that, and just keeping that in mind, even if you are discouraged, because I do understand that voter fatigue is real. And I understand that a lot of people are very disappointed in elected leaders who show up and demand signatures and ask for votes, and that be the last time you hear from them until re-election. I want everyone, and I encourage everyone, to show up to the polls with children in your minds, in your hearts. And then beyond that, continue to show up, because we have to hold elected leaders accountable to what they say they're gonna do. It's not just enough for us to drive the vote. It's not just enough for us to show up when it's an issue that directly impacts our children or our family. We have to take a sense of, or I guess create this sense of belonging that when something happens to one of us, it happens to all of us. And so it may not necessarily be your child, your grandchildren may not be in the MPS system, you may not have any dealings with public education whatsoever, but understand that someone close to you, someone near and dear to your heart does. And so even if you don't show up for anything else, show up for our children. Again, I am Aisha Carr, the school board representative, serving on the Milwaukee Public School Board. It is an honor to be here, be before you all today, and I encourage you all to hold me accountable and show up. And if I'm not doing my job, show up on 2025, April 2025, and get me out. And that's what we need to keep. We need to keep that mindset with all of the other elected officials. If they're not serving us right, it's no longer acceptable for us to not vote, but it is always acceptable for us to hold them accountable. So thank you all. I hope that you all enjoy this and keep it going. Thank you.
Now, it is my pleasure to introduce Mildred Kobe, Manager of Community Engagement and Agency Impact at Employ Milwaukee.
Thank you, Taylor. Thank you so much. Would you just pause for a moment? Let's give Miss Rhonda Stovall, Dr. Rhonda Stovall, a round of applause for doing this. Thank you so much. Thank you for having us here. She has a heart and a burden for the community. And it's one thing to say that you have it. It's another thing to put it into action. And she's always putting it into action. So thank you for having us here today. I am Mildred Colby, the manager of community engagement, as she stated, and agency impact for Employ Milwaukee. And a lot of people wonder, what does Employ Milwaukee do? Well, today we're going to talk a little bit about what's at stake in our community. A songwriter once said, I believe the children are our future. We teach them well and we let them lead the way. Then we show them all the beauty they have inside. And then we give them pride and strength to know that they can do anything. But that comes from their home environment. That comes from their school environment. That comes from their work environment. We at Employ Milwaukee, many of you have heard of the Earn and Learn program, Summer Earn and Learn. How many of you heard of that? This past summer, we were able to employ over 1,300 youth. Over 1,300 youth that were able to make over $12 an hour to be able to get into career paths and opportunities that they would not otherwise have an opportunity to do. So we had them in a lot of professional areas. We had them in agencies, nonprofits. We had them in schools. They were all over getting a glimpse of employment careers and opportunities that they could have an opportunity to have. So we connect job seekers with those employment opportunities. Also, how many of you heard about the Summer Rise program this summer? This was our new baby, new intervention. It's ages 10 to 15. It was young men, young boys that will grow up to be young men, to give them a sense of pride and dignity, to let them know you don't have to steal a car to get tennis shoes. You don't have to hang out in gangs, to have people to look out for you. Those young people made $200 a week, $200 a week. And they were introduced to career paths, educational opportunities, you name it. And they had mentors. The success of our youth, the success of us as adults is having mentorship. So we were able to instill mentorship honors to them and to let them know what it means to have somebody that really cares about you and what you're doing. It touched my heart because we had one of the young men to say that I was able to buy the tennis shoes that I wanted. So he didn't have to steal anything. He didn't have to go any place and do anything that was illegal, but he had his own money. And he said, my brother is 6 right now. I believe he said 6 or so. And he said, I hope this program is still here when he turns 10 so that he can be a part of this program as well. So we also provide structure and educational opportunities and trainings for adults because sometimes people need to be upskilled to get a better job. You have now people making career changes. We want everybody to know that if you want to work, if you want a career path, if you need training and educational opportunities, Employ Milwaukee is your place. You can reach out to us. I'm going to leave some cards here on the table. Feel free to call. And just if you know somebody on next week alone, to our president, too, of the NAACP and his beautiful wife, thank you all for being here. On next week, we are going to start a cohort for youth ages 14 to 24 who have dropped out of school. But this program is paid and will allow them to get a high school diploma and also training in the area of construction. Now, there's construction going on all over, and they're making good money, and that's going to be a permanent job. But can you imagine somebody that maybe couldn't finish high school for whatever the reason was? They're able now to get your high school certificate, to be able to have a job, to have paid training, and be handed over to an employer. So we're meeting people where they are. We have satellite locations. And what allows this many times is we have to have the right people in place that will open the floodgates for these opportunities to take place and our community can be uplifted. So thank you so much for this time. I can go on and on, but remember, our youth, our children are a result of us as adults. Do all that we can. And I see faces in here today. Take this information back and tell people that there is hope and they can make a difference. Thank you.
I just wanted. Okay. Hi. I loved what she said. I am a person who has worked at METC 40 years. We have a new scholarship at METC called the Shakota Scholarship that pays every expense for a one-year diploma. Please look at METC and find out how you could get a Shakota Scholarship, which covers childcare, housing, your books, and your tuition. It's a one-year diploma program. Thank you. I just wanted them to know that.
It's okay. It's okay. Thank you so much, Millie, for that warm introduction and for that voting speech. I'm honored to bring up our next guest, who comes from Public Affairs Organizer, Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin, Ms. Ashley Higgins.
Hi, it's so great to be hearing about things like these amazing things that are going on in the community. And introduce myself again, I'm Ashley. I'm the public affairs organizer in Milwaukee for Planned Parenthood of Wisconsin. I've been with the organization for just over 2 years. I'm still really young. I'm 24, fresh out of college, feels like it. So I'm, getting the hang of things still. So I was invited here today by Rhonda to talk about one of the issues that's at stake in the election. And since I work at Planned Parenthood, that issue for me is reproductive health care and access and having the choice to make those decisions about your body. Being that I work at Planned Parenthood, I talk about reproductive health, women's health, and access to that health care on an almost daily basis. And I have conversations with people who don't know all the things that we provide in the community outside of the controversial things that you'll sometimes hear about in the news. So the purpose of Planned Parenthood's work and the purpose of my work, again, is to ensure that all people have access to the full spectrum of healthcare that they need, and the information and the education to make those informed decisions for themselves. And talking about voting and why that's important for us as people who need reproductive health care is that politicians have the power right now to decide what happens with our bodies, with those choices, and with those decisions. So voting in this election is super important. It's something that we talk about in our meetings every day. It's something that I talk about when I go out and canvass with my colleagues and volunteers, like the facts that this election, as consequential as it is for everything else, is also consequential for this. So just coming up here to reaffirm the facts that Planned Parenthood and people who need reproductive health, who need access to that full spectrum of reproductive health, need us to go out and vote. Vote for them, vote for us, vote to bring that power back to us, to bring back that decision-making skills. So yeah, it's great to be here with you all again and to hear about everything else that's going on in the community. And I'm so excited for everyone to vote this election.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Ms. Higgins, for that speech. We're going to bring up our next guest, who comes from Mortgage Loan. She's an originator, Prime Financial, from Prime Financial Credit Union, Ms. Tarina Hammock.
You're welcome. Hello, everyone. It's really a pleasure to be here with everyone. And as everyone have already spoken, it's been just some good words that came across. Some of the stuff that I was going to use in my speech, so I won't repeat it. So anyway, I'm a mortgage loan originator at Prime Financial Credit Union. My sister invited me out. I think that we need to use our voices this time for the voting season. There's so much in stake. Like one of the ladies has said, when it affects one of us, it affects all of us. So I work at a low-income designated credit union. A lot of community involvement for me, too. And the kids are our future. We need to go out and use our voice to get everybody on track. Because right now, the world is in a terrible shape. And if we don't go out and somebody don't make an effort to go out to do something, then what can we say? There's nothing to be done because we didn't do our part. So I'm just encouraging you all. I won't repeat everything that we have already said, but I'm encouraging everyone to go up, show out at the voting polls. You're all, that's it.
Now we heard from all our lovely speakers. One has one more thing to say. Give it up for Dr. Kauser.
That's my child. She was like, no, Mom, you're not on the itinerary. Hey, you gotta be careful what you show them. Anywho, I just wanted to just again apologize for the delay. I just spoke with the beautiful caterer who shared with us that we have a decision to make as far as feeding you all. As you know, we were supposed to start between 2 and 3 and eat. So in order to make sure that we're able to get you fed and also get our entertainment on, we need to make sure that we start some of this at the same time. So what I'd like to do, and I apologize if this is offensive to you all, but where I grew up, the children ate first. So I apologize if Cleveland, Ohio traditions don't fit here in Milwaukee, but that's where I came from. So before Ms. Birdie goes on to honor our guests who are here, I'd like for you to have the youth who are in the room, especially the youth council members who've been working tirelessly for the last 3 days. If all of the youth, all of the young people, collegiate and all of the youth, if you all could make your way to the caterer's table, please, and your caregivers, quietly, go to the table quickly, quietly and quickly. Please. Thank you. Thank you so much. This next part is going to be very, very nice, but we need you to go to the line to get your food. You too, you too. Oh yeah, yes, honey. Oh yes, we did a whole segment on food insecurity. Oh yeah, baby. But we know about those food insecurities at the college campus. Oh yeah, baby. We've been advocating for that. Oh yeah, we've been advocating for that. You better ask somebody about me. So you get yours. Oh yeah. Oh yes, ma'am. So without further ado, I will bring you again Dr. Birdie Kauser, who has a special treat for you today. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Rhonda. So I would like, let's see here, the Prince Hall Masonic Foundation Incorporated Lodges and Chapter, and we were asking for the most worshipful Prince Hall Mason Grand Master, Samuel Slotts, and the Order of the Eastern Star Grand Worthy Matron, Kathleen Crape, to please come with me up here. The state of Wisconsin, citation of commendation. Whereas on June 29th, 1925, the Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Wisconsin Incorporated was chartered And whereas 11 Prince Hall Masonic Lodges currently operate throughout Wisconsin, serving their communities through volunteer and philanthropic activities, and whereas 10 chapters operating under Unity Grand Chapter Order of the Eastern Star, PHA, was organized on January the 14th, 1951, support the Grand Lodge and supplement the work of Masonic lodges throughout Wisconsin. And whereas the Prince Hall Masonic Foundation Incorporated was established in 1983 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and whereas the Prince Hall Masonic Foundation and its Helping Dreams Come True mission provides opportunities for community members through education, civic engagement, scholarships, and charitable donations, and whereas under the current leadership of the most worshipful Grand Master Samuel L. Slotts and Grand Worthy Matron Kathleen A. Crape, and other Grand Lodge and Grand Chapter officers, the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Wisconsin Incorporated and Unity Grand Chapter Order of the Eastern Star continue to be important and historical organizations now. Therefore, be it resolved, State Representative Evan Gohlke and State Senator LaTanya Johnson, on behalf of the state of Wisconsin, hereby honors the most worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge of Wisconsin, Unity Grand Chapter, Order of the Eastern Star, its warranted organization, and the Prince Hall Masonic Foundation Incorporated, and thanks their members for unwavering service and dedication to our community. Presented this day, October 21st, 2022, State Representative Evan Gohlke and State Senator LaTanya Johnson. Thank you so much.
Good afternoon. On behalf of Unity Grand Chapter, where I serve as the 35th Grand Worthy Matron for the state of Wisconsin, it is an honor and a privilege to be here and be honored today. Our mission is simple: making our community better than what it is. Each and every day, our mission becomes harder and harder as things get worse in our city. Voting is just one of the issues that we face. We talk a lot about voting when it's time to vote. But the reality is, when your census comes in the mail, that's a chance to vote. Often when we were young coming up, we thought the census meant they were going to cut something off if it was too many people in the house. But we understand and we educate ourselves about the importance of filling out your census. Daily, we talk about the presidential election, but we must understand that the elections that happen on the local level are the elections that impact our community. So let's make sure we get out and vote. On behalf of Unity Grand Chapter, I thank you for this honor, and we are happy to be here.
Good afternoon. My name is Samuel L. Stotts. I am the 33rd Most Worshipful Grand Master of the Most Worshipful Prince Hall Grand Lodge, Free and Accepted Masons of the state of Wisconsin. It's an honor and a privilege to be here to share this afternoon with you and to cover the voting situation. We, as the Prince Hall family, are committed to helping our community in any way we can. And we're very honored to be receive this citation, but we are here and we will always be here in the community. So I ask that anybody here, any groups that would like any assistance or at any point that we can help the Grand Worthy Matron, myself, we're here. We're just a call away. Thank you all.
I bring to you Ms. Liz Coleman and her production team as they present Your Voice, Your Vote.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. Remember your voice, your vote. Hey, Trina, I know you just left court. How did it go?
Honestly, I can't believe that judge only gave him a slap on the wrist. 4 years? He killed my father because of reckless driving. My dad was crossing the street. He didn't deserve to die like that.
Trina, I'm so sorry, but please hang in there. Unfortunately, I'm not surprised. He's known as the judge who could care less about people, but he continues to be voted in during every election. I'm disgusted. Trina, that's why it's important to vote.
What does voting have to do with judges? And I don't really feel like talking about voting right now.
I definitely understand. It's hard, but please hear me. Superior judges are elected 6 terms by county voters on a ballot and a general election during even number years. Trust me, it's so important to vote.
My dad would always fuss at me about not voting. I'm sorry, Daddy. I just thought my vote didn't count.
Imagine how many people think that their vote doesn't count. If you don't vote, it won't count. You have a voice, and as a Black woman, it's important to use it. Down through the years, it's been a monumental struggle for African Americans. We're destroyed because of lack of knowledge.
Ain't I a woman? Is the text of the speech Sojourner Truth delivered in 1851 at the Women's Convention Center in Akron, Ohio. The women in attendance were being challenged to call for the right to vote. The purpose of the speech is to persuade the audience in giving the right to vote. It's common sense.
Well, children, where there's so much racket, there must be something out the kilter. I think that twixt the Negroes of the South and the women of the North all talking about rights, the white man gonna be in a fix pretty soon. That man over there, what is he talking about? Talking about women need to be helped into carriages and lifted over ditches and have the best place everywhere. Nobody ever helps me into carriages or lifts me over mud puddles or give me the best place. And ain't I a woman? Look at me. Look at my arms. I've plowed and planted and gathered into barns, and no man could head me. And ain't I a woman? I can eat as much and work as much as a man when I can get it. And ain't I a woman? I can bear the lash as well. I've born 13 children, seen most of them sold off into slavery. And when I cried out with a mother's grief, none but my sweet Jesus heard me. And ain't I a woman? Obliged to you all for hearing old Sojourner Truth. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I'd be a slave, I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free.
I've been walking with my face turned to the sun. Weight on my shoulders, a bullet in my gun. Oh, I got eyes in the back of my head, just in case I have to run. I do what I can when I can, while I can for my people. While the clouds roll back and the stars fill the night, that's when I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on, I can feel it in my bones. Early in the morning, before the sun begins to shine, we're gonna start moving towards that separating line. I'm wading through muddy waters. You know I gotta make up mind. And I don't mind if I lose any blood on the way to salvation. And I'll fight with the strength that I got until I die. So I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. And I know what's around the bend might be hard to face 'cause I'm alone. And I just might fail, but Lord knows I'll try. Shine stars fill up the sky. Stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Can you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. Do you hear freedom calling, calling me to answer? Gonna keep on keeping on. I'm gonna stand up, take my people with me. Together we are going to a brand new home, far across the river. I hear freedom calling, calling me to answer. Gonna keep on keeping on. I can feel it in my bones. I go to prepare
Did you know Black men were given voting rights in the 1870s? Meanwhile, Black women were effectively banned until the passage of the Voting Rights Act of 1965. When the United States Constitution was ratified, a small number of free Blacks were among the voting citizens in some states. After the passage of the 19th Amendment in 1920, women and men of color were often kept from the polls through a variety of tactics. They faced racial and ethnic discrimination and were often discouraged from voting via violence.
Lift every voice and sing till earth and heaven ring. Ring with the harmonies of liberty. Let our rejoicings rise high as the listening skies. Let it resound loud as the rolling sea. Sing a song full of the faith that the dark past has taught us. Sing a song full of the hope that the present has brought us. Facing the rising sun of our new day begun. Let us march on till victory is won.
The Selma marches were a series of 3 marches that took place in 1965 from Selma to Montgomery, Alabama. The marches were organized to protest the blocking of Black Americans' right to vote by the systematic racist structure of Jim Crow. John Lewis was one of the leaders who led the march. Now it's time for audience participation. Y'all ready? All right. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, walking up the freedom way. You do it. Vote! Vote! I hear y'all, come on. Marching up the freedom way. One more time. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around, turn me around, turn me around. Ain't gonna let nobody turn me around. I'm gonna keep on walking, keep on talking, walking up the freedom way. On August 6th, 5 months after the marches, President Johnson signed the Voting Rights Act of 1965 into law, making it possible for African Americans in the South to register to vote. Give that a hand.
One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours. It will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure. We will be sure. Oh, glory. Oh, glory. Oh, glory. Oh, glory. We're shouting glory. Oh, glory. Oh, glory. Oh, glory. Yeah. One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours. It will be ours. Oh, one day, when the war is won, we will be sure. We will be sure. Oh, glory. We're singing glory. Oh, glory. Oh, glory. Now the war is not over. Victory isn't won. And we'll fight to the finish. And then when it's all said and done, we'll say glory. Oh, glory. Oh, we're singing glory. Glory, glory, glory.
A few days ago, I had a conversation with my students who were about to turn 18 years old, and I spoke with them regarding the importance of registering to vote and why we should vote. And here's a little message. How many young people do we have in here that will soon be 18? One. Good, 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 good. How many of you all have young people that will be eligible to vote in your household? How many of you all know somebody that's about to turn 18 before here we go. Here we go. I see the hands are going up right now. Great. So at that point, I want you guys to know, Big Mama told me, I heard you all in there talking about voting, and it's not a game. The 2022 election is serious, and it's important to vote. Hear me, and hear me good. Grandma said when I was younger, I remember being threatened and almost beaten to death for trying to vote. Violence was used to intimidate blacks from voting. If you were black, somebody say black. Poor, illiterate, been to prison, didn't pay taxes, or didn't own property, you did not stand a chance to vote. Knowing the past opens the door to the future. It's important to know where you come from so you can know where you are going. Life for us ain't been no crystal stair. So you all get out there and encourage others to vote. And yes, I've said it before and I'll say it again. If you don't vote, it won't count. It's important that every eligible person in this election vote. And at this time, how many of you all know that change gonna come? All right, y'all, if you believe it, just clap your hands. I know some of you all are still eating, but do you believe that change is going to come? Once again, just clap those hands.
was born by the river, oh, in a little tent. Oh, but just like the river, I've been running ever since. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will. Oh, then I go to my brother, and I say, brother, help me, please. Oh, and then he winds up knocking me back to my knees. It's been too hard living, oh, but I'm afraid to die, 'cause I don't know what's up there beyond the sky. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Oh, yes, it will.
The voting right advocates of today stand on the shoulders of those who came before them. Born into slavery, Ida B. Wells was one of the early leaders of the civil rights movement. As a journalist, she led an anti-lynching crusade and fought for women's rights. She also fought tirelessly for the right to vote, all while facing discrimination within the suffrage movement. We can't talk about voting without mentioning Fannie Lou Hamer. Born in 1917, Hamer was a prominent voice in the civil rights and voting rights movement. Hamer led voter registrations movements across the country and co-founded the Mississippi Freedom Democrat Party in 1964. In that year, Hamer helped organize Freedom Summer, a mobile effort that brought college students together to help with Black voter registration in the South. Martin Luther King, John Lewis, Diane Nash, Ella Baker, Bob Moses, Stokely Carmichael, and others were also instrumental in advocating for voting rights.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome someday. With every voice and shown up every vote, we shall overcome someday.
Many often ask, why vote? People have died defending this right Don't take it for granted. Voting is more than just electing a candidate. It's choosing the right policies and the people who have the best interests in mind when making a decision that will affect our community, state, and nation. Voting gives you power. Somebody say power. Voting gives you power. Say power. To choose how your city, state, and country will run. Listen, if you don't vote, don't complain. Go vote and make the decision before somebody else makes it for you. When I say go, you say vote. Go! Go! When I say go, you say vote. Go!
Vote.
Go!
Vote.
When I say go, you say vote. Go!
Vote.
Go!
Vote.
And we encourage you today to hold on. Change is coming.
Hold on. Change is coming.
Everybody clap.
Hold on. Don't worry about a thing. Hold on. You can make it. Hold on. We say, everything's gonna be all right. Say, I will use my voice. Say, I will use my voice. Say, I will use my voice. I will use my voice. Say, hold on. Change is coming. Hold on. Oh, don't worry about a thing. Say, hold on. You can make it. Hold on. Everything's gonna be all right.
Thank you for this time. This is Miss Janie Boston. Come back right here. Y'all can do better than that. Janie Boston, and on the singer and the piano player, none other than Maestro Curtis Eubanks. Thank you all for your time, and hopefully you got something out of this. What are you gonna go do? What are you gonna go tell somebody? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna go tell somebody? What are you gonna do? When I say go, you say vote. Go! Go! Thank you, Miss Rhonda.
And if they ask you why voting matters, all they have to do is look around the rooms of their house. All they have to do is do just like Sojourner Truth did. She looked around her what? Her neighborhood. And she found individuals who needed to be soldiers, right? And she said, what? Ain't I a woman too? So we thank them for coming today and sharing how Sojourner Truth turned her advocacy for her people into the power to vote. She was a freed slave, and she said, hey, can't I vote? Of course they said no, but then she joined the women's movement and decided to do what? Make it so, to vote. Make it happen through advocacy. So we have to do what? Impress upon our young people that it starts with just an idea to be the change. So at this moment, I know you all are ready to go, but in the spirit of advocating, I'm advocating for you to give me 2 to 5 Kojic minutes. I know, right? And I'd like to ask Ms. Karen Nelson, who has been an advocate for mental health, an advocate for our students, and who works on the board of directors, works with the board, not on, nobody gets paid for that job, sorry about that, who has worked with me also with DEI at the League of Women Voters at the state level. I'd like for her to say just a few words as they have partnered with us in many capacities. As you consider advocating for that chicken over there, because we have lots of it that you can take back to Madison and Beloit and Milwaukee. So think about that. We have plenty that you can take home. So as she comes forth, please consider taking some of the beautiful chicken that's coming from our beautiful caterers over there. I welcome Ms. Karen Nelson. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. So when your soror calls on you to just say a few words, you don't say no, even though this is not what I came here to do. I just came here to kind of blend in with the crowd and just be a part of the rah-rah team to get out the vote. But I am a member of the League of Women Voters. Will all members of the League of Women Voters please stand? You can see my volunteers over here at the table. And Ron and Pat had to leave. I am also a Diamond Life member of Delta Sigma Theta Sorority Incorporated, International Public Service Sorority. Will all members of Delta Sigma Theta please stand? Rhonda, stand again. Awesome, awesome. Thank you so much. So why vote? Why Wisconsin? Why is everybody so concerned about Wisconsin? Y'all, we better wake up. We are in the line of fire for protecting our democracy going forward. Wisconsin has a high voter turnout state potential. You heard me right, potential. But still, about 1/3 of our citizens who are eligible to vote in this state don't vote, even in presidential elections. And this isn't even a presidential election year. The no-shows are a big potential voting block. That's why they're coming here. That's why everybody's converging on the state of Wisconsin. And within the state of Wisconsin, 80% of the people of color in this state lives in where? The city of Milwaukee. So let's wake up, folks. We're holding it in our hands. The turnout in the 2020 presidential election was 72%, a record. But the turnout in 2018, a similar midterm election, was 59% of the voting age population. In other words, 4 out of 10 eligible voters did not vote in 2018. We can't make that mistake again. Wisconsin is considered a swing state for these reasons. We're used to close elections, but Lord knows I'm getting too old for these heart palpitations, the election night, staying up all night and sometimes all week to find out what the end will be. The 2020 presidential election was determined by a margin of, get this, because I'm getting ready to put a 0 in front of this number, 0.62%. In other words, less than 21,000 votes statewide. More than 1 million Wisconsinites who were eligible to vote in 2020 did not vote. So please know your vote matters. So when you leave here and you go and you talk to, all your neighbors and your church members, and they'll say, oh, it's no big deal, I can just sit this one out. Let me give you a perfect example of an election that was won by 1 vote. In April of 2022, this just happened this year, y'all, there was a tie vote in the city of Wauwatosa for alderperson. Y'all remember this? This was all over the news, right? The election was decided not only by one vote, but by a provisional ballot. That means even if you don't think you were in the right place or somebody tries to challenge your vote, stay there and ask for a provisional ballot. This one person did that in Wauwatosa. And at the end of the day, at the end of that week actually, the election was decided by that one provisional voter because that person was a voter on election day, happened to not bring their ID. Don't just walk away and they say, oh, darn it, I left my ID, I'm sorry, you can't vote. Yes, I can. In the state of Wisconsin, you have the right to vote with a provisional ballot. Then, thank you, and then you have 3 days, and that person within those 3 days, within their rights, provided that ID so that their ballot could be counted. That made for a dramatic finish if there ever was one. So when you are talking to people who are telling you that their one vote does not count, you tell them, right now we have Representative Sean Lowe, the first Black man in the city of Wauwatosa because of one vote. Every vote matters. Yes, your vote does count. So what's on the ballot for November 8th? Let's be specific here. 1/3 of the U.S. Senate, Senator Ron Johnson's seat being challenged by Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes, the entire House of Representatives, the governor, the lieutenant governor, half of the Wisconsin state odd number districts, the entire Wisconsin Assembly, Wisconsin Attorney General, Secretary of State, Treasurer, the Milwaukee County Sheriff, county clerks of circuit courts. That's a long list of people who control our lives, everyday people. So this is why we have to go out and vote. And if you'd like to know more information, we have handouts in the back at the League of Women Voters table, My Vote Wisconsin, for more details on who to vote for and where people stand. I'm not here to tell you who to vote for, but y'all could probably imagine who it is, because I have to be nonpartisan in these shoes I'm wearing right now today. But right now, I just want to encourage you to please plan your vote. Plan to take others with you. There is no one and no vote that should go uncounted. Thank you. I'm looking for Miss Rhonda. She's going the other way. Rhonda. And who else would you like to have speak after me? President. Thank you. And now the next speaker will be President Nicholas. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good evening. I'm Clarence P. Nicholas. I'm the president of the Milwaukee branch NAACP. I'll just say this. This year foreshadows May 1959, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King's speech, Give Us the Ballot. Someone already told us about the 1965 Voting Rights Act. It happened after 1959. However, the John Lewis bill right now has passed the United States Congress in May of last year, but it rests in the Senate. So, a majority vote here for the Democrats in Wisconsin will give us what Dr. King asked for in 1959. God bless you. Thank you. That's it.
Without further ado, I'd like to conclude this program. I'd like to thank you all for coming. And if you'd be so kind to have a safe evening, but also I'm sure that our caterers have plates that you could fill. Put another plate on top of that plate. and take some of this food home. I probably have some rubber bands someplace that you can put on top of that to keep it safe and secure. But let's not leave this food here, because I'm sure that your family and friends at home would be upset to know that you left this food here. Again, feel free to join us for the rest of this food that's over here, and we appreciate you coming. We look forward to seeing you at the next event. But this weekend is done, you guys. Put a fork in it. Bye-bye. Woohoo!